you so much for allowing me to come here and speak to this group. And everyone can hear me. I'm not used to using a microphone. But anyway, hit the B button there and we'll be all set. All right. And we're all set. All right. Disabled Veteran SCUBA Project, as it says, we start in order to serve disabled vets. That's our primary focus. And with our priority going to combat vets. And why scuba diving? So, scuba diving is, this is our mission statement. We're not here to put local dive stores out of business. What we are here to do is serve the veterans for whom the local dive shop would be a bit more of a challenge. Our veterans very often, because of their injuries, are not students that a dive store is equipped or trained to handle. Any instructor can teach anybody to scuba dive. It doesn't mean they should. Any instructor can teach cave diving, but if you're not cave dive certified, it's probably not your best idea. And the same is true for adaptive diving. There are some things unique to the world of adaptive diving that you'll never experience outside of that world and be unaware of, some of which are life-threatening conditions. So if you're not trained in that area, we would encourage you to defer to somebody who is. So aside from our adaptive special needs people, we also have a time constraint. Traumatic brain injuries, which is the signature wound of the war in Iraq, the main characteristic or distinguishing feature of that are short-term memory problems. We have people who write notes so they remember why they went to the top of the stairs. I've had students introduce themselves in week 12 of the class. So with that, that's not the student that the average dive shop is going to want to teach or should be teaching, because they really are not good candidates for a 2 weekends in a day or even a 3-weekend course. We spend 10 weeks in a pool because I have to teach the class, wait 2 weeks, and then evaluate if they remembered what I taught them in the class. Because short-term memory is about 2 weeks. Long-term memory is after that. And amazingly enough, you can sit there and talk to somebody watching a television show, and a commercial for a movie will come on, and they'll say, I want to go see that movie. They've been home about 30 minutes from seeing that movie. 2 weeks from now, they'll tell you the plot and who is in it. So I can pass out a dive test in my class to a student, and what I taught 3 weeks ago, they'll score 95 to 98% on. What I taught 5 minutes before I pass out the test, it doesn't exist. Just that simple. So for these reasons, they're not really good candidates for the local class. And then, particularly with our paralyzed students, finances is an issue. So that's what we're here to do. Next slide, please. You may recognize Daryl Coy. He was a member here at one time in this organization. He's one of our volunteers and a paraplegic and a fine diver. And we're here to build confidence with our newly injured individuals particularly. This is all part of the, all right, you're injured, you've lost a leg, you're paralyzed, or whatever your injury may be. I see that. Let's move on. What else can we do? And let them find an experience where they can do something and then say, if I can do this, what else can I do? And it can have life-changing results. One German that Nicholas Koster taught, does anyone here know who Nicholas Koster is by chance?
Not the actor, is he?
He is the actor, and in fact, when I talked to him about a week ago, he was watching the movie True Grit, the new one that's just now in theaters, at home on a video machine because he has to make a vote.
So do I.
Okay, so he has to vote. He has had a long acting career. You'll see him right now in the Farmer's commercial where he's with a hot babe and there's a jet ski stuck up in the palm tree. He's the old gentleman. And just a fine fellow who has been quietly teaching the handicapped to scuba dive for over 30 years without a lot of fanfare. Just a principal guy. And when I say he strongly encouraged me, he damn near broke my arm. So anyway, he taught a gentleman who's a triple amputee to scuba dive. One arm, no legs, born that way, not doing much of dive. friend of mine is a paraplegic. Paralyzed individuals often have a lot of pain. And we think of paralysis as being the absence of feeling. And actually, it's one of those words in there, in 2006 and 2007. 80% of those on the roads around Baghdad, actually on 3 roads around Baghdad. And just to make life interesting and fun, I did all 3 roads in one 24-hour period. We had a lot of fun. And keep in mind, when I was driving the roads, it was me and 3 other gun trucks, 15 Americans, and my Iraqis, because I was with the Iraqi Armed Forces as their advisor. So we did a mission up to Taji, and then we turned right around that evening after the mission to Taji, we went down to Scandaria and picked up 160 pickup trucks and drove them back. So we had 400 Iraqis and 4 Humvees. We had 2 Katyusha rockets, 1 RPG, 6 mortar rounds, 2 roadside ambushes, and we found 2 roadside bombs. Fortunately, somebody found the roadside bombs before the bombs found us. He received a Silver Star for his combat actions this day. This is his 2nd Humvee in 28 days. It had 650 miles on it, as you see it. That's about $450,000 of your taxpayer money. And as I told him, if you're not going to take better care of my gear, I'll give you more. I was a logistics officer, and he was on a team under our team. So every time he lost his Humvee, my team had 4 gun trucks, his team had 3, so I had to give him my gun truck. So I got him a gun truck, and he had it for exactly 28 days before he blew it up. 650 miles. He saw the roadside bomb, and he had already been ambushed once. That day, he had wounded. He knew the enemy's plan was for him to stop for the roadside bomb while they shot him up with mortars and rockets and machine guns. So he, since his Humvee is armored and our Iraqis are driving pickup trucks,